hurts my heart. It hurts me that anyone could be beaten like that. It hurts that a parent would allow that. It hurts that my daughter would allow anyone to do that to her child.
Today is going to be a bit of a shorter video. I just wanted to hop on here and talk about this case that really broke a couple of weeks ago, but hasn't really gained a lot of media attention like you would expect with something like this. I've only seen a few people really talk about it, and so I wanted to hop on here, even if it's just briefly, and talk to you about this case, because I think the more people that do talk about it, hopefully the more awareness that's spread, and maybe we can get some answers and we can find this missing person, Bryson Muir. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. So let's just get into it. So it's the story of the missing 14-year-old Bryson Muir. He's out of Logansport, Indiana, and he's actually the son of the former NFL player Daniel Muir. He played for a couple of different NFL teams, but I think he was probably most known for playing on the Indianapolis Colts. And yeah, his son, his 14-year-old son, is missing. Have you guys heard about this? I just heard about this a few days ago, and I honestly couldn't believe that more people aren't talking about it. So Bryson, he's described as a black male, 6'2", about 185 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes, who was last seen on June 16th. So a little bit over 2 weeks ago. He was wearing an orange Under Armour shirt and blue jeans, and the events surrounding his disappearance are, like I said, extremely concerning. So on June 16th, Bryson was visiting with his grandma in Garfield Heights, Ohio. And right away, his grandma noticed that Bryson looked like he was in really rough shape. He had a black eye, his face was swollen, his lip was split open. And when Bryson's grandma, whose name is Cheryl Wright, asked her grandson who did this to him, Cheryl alleges that Bryson said it was his father, that former NFL player Daniel Muir, who inflicted the black eye and the busted lip, who essentially abused him. And I mean, look at these two side by sides here. You can see Bryson's face was extremely swollen. I think, it's very likely that he could have had some serious injuries, even like potentially a brain injury, concussion, who knows, internal bleeding. I mean, there's a lot of swelling going on in his face when you look at these side-by-sides. And with these types of injuries, an examination was definitely warranted by some sort of healthcare professional. He might have needed imaging, but just looking at these pictures, it looks really concerning to me. And the grandma was actually quoted. She said in one of the articles I read, he just said that his dad did it, talking about Bryson, but he wasn't angry at his father. He told me that he deserved it and it was okay. So I told him that it wasn't, and that nobody should beat their children like that, not if they love them. So Cheryl, the grandma, said that she picked up Bryson on June 13th. It was a Thursday evening, and it was at the request of Cheryl's daughter, Kristen Muir. So that would be Bryson's mom. She said when she showed up to pick up Bryson, he was with his mom, his dad, and some unidentified male. That's really all the details that she gave surrounding that. But yeah, she picked up Bryson near Toledo and brought him back to her house. And then on Sunday morning, so this is now June 16th, Bryson's mom, dad, and an unidentified male, I'm not sure if it was the same unidentified male or not. It's not clear in the articles that I read. But the three of them came back to Cheryl's house to pick up Bryson. Cheryl really didn't want Bryson to leave. She even tried to get him to stay. But regardless, Cheryl says that Bryson went with his parents. Not though before Cheryl actually called 911 because she was so concerned for Bryson's well-being. She even took that photo with the swelling on Bryson because she was so concerned, and she wanted to report this to the authorities. And according to the Indiana State Police Captain, Ron Galavis, they said that they responded to Cheryl's call extremely quickly. They said a mere minutes before they actually arrived and pulled over Kristen. But by the time that they pulled her over, so just minutes after Cheryl made that call, Bryson was already nowhere to be found. You guys, they responded in just minutes, and Bryson was already gone. You can only think that the mom knew, the family knew that Cheryl was going to be calling the authorities. And so whatever they did, they had to act really fast. The officers, they actually suspect that Bryson was switched into another vehicle, but this hasn't been confirmed yet. But that is their suspicion based on the fact that he was just nowhere to be found. within a matter of minutes. I mean, that's super, super bizarre. And now what I don't understand personally is why the parents were then able to leave when they weren't able to say where Bryson was or tell any details to the officers, when clearly there was evidence that Bryson had been beaten very badly. And allegedly, according to the grandma, was done so by the father. And so I just don't necessarily understand why the officers let them leave, but they did. Yeah, and like I said, Bryson was last seen on June 16th, and allegedly over the next few days, CPS and the Indiana State Police, they started investigating these abuse claims, but they were unable to get a hold of the parents. Authorities say that they even visited the family's home in Logansport multiple times, and they still were not able to make contact. Then finally, on June 27th, so this is 11 days later, the police were actually finally able to get a hold of the parents. That's Daniel and Kristen Muir. They actually agreed to bring their son to meet with the Indiana State Police investigators the following day on June 28th at noon. So they had an appointment. They said, okay, fine, we're going to meet with you in the office and we'll bring our son. However, 1 hour, so 11 a.m. on June 28th, 1 hour before they were supposed to meet, they actually backed out. And Bryson has still not been found. And what makes this case even more alarming is that the family is actually believed to be heavily involved in a cult. This cult is referred to as Straitway, and wouldn't you believe it, Daniel Muir is one of their pastors. You guys, I cannot believe that this is another story about a corrupt pastor. When I started looking into this, I had no idea that a pastor was, or any kind of cult was even involved. What is going on with all of these corrupt, self-proclaimed pastors? It's really honestly scary to think about, because someone in that type of position really does have the power to manipulate the people that are following them, that are listening to them. And there's a huge room for abuse of power. And so I just can't believe that this is another case of, an alleged cult and a corrupt pastor. I mean, again, I should have said this probably in the beginning. No one has been convicted of anything just yet. This is all alleged. It's still a developing case, and I'm sure more details are going to come out. But as the story stands right now, that's where we're at. And I had no idea when I started getting into this it was going to go and lead to another cult. But yet here we are. And yeah, so they are supposedly very heavily involved in this alleged cult called Straitway. And actually, the grandma has come out and expressed her concern that Bryson may be considered brainwashed by the belief system involved here. And that would make sense in regards to what Cheryl was saying, that even though he had been beaten badly, he wasn't mad at his father for beating him. Even though he had been beaten badly, he still wanted to leave with his parents. That brainwash mentality kind of paints a bigger picture here of why Bryson would still go with them.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
That's right. And we was just sitting here, me and my son, me and my oldest. I always stress to him the importance of being the firstborn. And he does a great job at leading his brothers. He does a great job of showing his brothers who the Most High is through his actions. I hear him all the time. In the morning when they wake up, he tells his brothers to get down and give the Most High praise and pray. I give thanks to the Most High for teaching my son through me how important it is. How important it is to lead his brothers. And we're going to talk about how, he's in these wicked Babylonian systems of school. He got literally 30 days left, and he will never touch foot in another public school again. Hallelujah. We're going to start homeschooling our kids and teach them the truth of who they are. Okay, so I got a question for you. One day when we was you came home and you told me how they all in school, your friends, and it was like, we got a Christian club. We got a Christian club. And everybody was raising their hands, and everybody was shouting about a Christian and Christianity club. And then they looked at you crazy because you didn't jump up. Tell me what you told them, son.
That I'm an Israelite.
Tell me why you told him you're an Israelite.
Because I know who I actually am. And I know that I'm not a Roman Catholic Christian.
Hallelujah. Tell me why you not a Roman Catholic.
Because, for one, I'm from Israel. I'm from Israel. And I'm not from Europe.
Hallelujah. You see this wisdom here? This is my young son. This is my oldest leading.
And I know the truth, that I know that the cross is a graven image.
We talk about this all the time. We don't dislike Christians because we used to be Christians. But the Most High took the scales off of our eyes.
And by the look of it, Bryson's mom, Kristen, she appears to be potentially brainwashed as well. I'll let you just watch this little clip I found and you can form your own opinions.
As a Hebrew woman, an Israelite, we don't look brothers right in the eye, because the eyes, you know, you've heard, is the window to the soul, and it's a gateway and all these things. And it's a place of, it can be a place of intimacy if you are looking a brother straight in the eye. I know society teaches that women should stare you down and things like that, but us, the way we carry ourselves with meekness.
It's also said that the Muir's family, their car and their home are owned by this religious organization. And so when authorities went to their property, they were met with not only like lots of no trespassing signs, but they also came across the sign that said, "Welcome to Straitway, Indiana Goshen." I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It has a crest on the sign with an S on it. It's on the shield there. And then behind that shield, there's two swords forming an X behind the shield. And actually, if you were to Google Straitway, Indiana Goshen, then you will find that Daniel Muir, the self-proclaimed pastor for this religious organization, he's actually on YouTube. He has his own YouTube channel. I watched some of the videos, and some of the stuff that he is saying to me definitely has a cult vibe. A little bit bizarre, some strict belief systems. I just combed through a few of them, but yeah, there's some stuff here that to me is seeming a bit culty.
Because when you come out and you have allegations such as adultery, well, if anybody knows anything about the scriptures, we know that that penalty by the word of Yah is death. Obviously, us being in America, death is not an option here because we don't have capital punishment for adultery in this wicked land that we live in.
And so now it's July 2nd when I am filming this, and Bryson still has not been found. And even though they did issue a statewide silver alert, so they issued this on June 25th, he still has not been found. And so some have speculated that the family maybe sent Bryson to some sort of strict religious camp, but then why not at least release that information to the authorities? That to me seems odd. If they are, investigating this so heavily, if he's at some religious camp, why wouldn't they at least tell them? And then, of course, some are speculating the absolute worst. Hopefully that is not the circumstance. Again, like I said, hopefully we find Bryson and he is alive and well, or as well as he can be considering the circumstances. The authorities, they have come out and said that they have had more contact with the Muirs, but through their attorney. So that seems also alarming to me because, again, why not just say where Bryson is? If he is indeed somewhere like a religious camp or something else, why not just be more upfront about it? Why would you need to speak through an attorney? Why is there so much secrecy? I mean, why haven't we seen him since June 16th? There's a lot of red flags here, and I myself am very worried about Bryson. I just really hope that this isn't like another Chad and Lori Daybell situation. And again, that we find Bryson and that he is alive and that he gets the help that he needs, whatever that might be. But I think that's going to be all for today's video. Like I said, it was going to be definitely more shorter than some of my previous videos. I will absolutely be following this case. I'm hoping, like I said, that there is a positive ending to this story. But stay tuned because I definitely will be following along. Remember, like I said, this is still an active investigation. And at this time, nobody has been convicted of anything. Everything is alleged. So, do your own research, form your own opinion, stay tuned because like I said, hopefully more details will come out and I will continue to share them when I come across them. And if you do have any information about Bryson, I'll make sure to share in the description box below where you should go to send any tips or call with any information. Hopefully we can spread awareness. Hopefully we can share this information and get it out there and we can bring Bryson I don't want to say necessarily home. I don't know if that's the best place for him, but hopefully we can find Bryson and we can get him the help that he needs and deserves. But all right, as always, I wish you guys nothing but the best, and I will talk to you soon.